Today is my birthday. I turned 21, and the Washington Commanders are in a joint practice with the Miami Dolphins with a ton of news to talk about, from unfortunate injury to Dan Quinn opening up and saying we don't have a legit wide receiver too. Let's talk about it.
Off field, left. What I want?
Get back slow. I love the way she rockin' it. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner. She's confident. I love the way she move it.
Follow me on Twitch at ChewyIRL, as that's where I will be live streaming the games anytime the Washington Commanders play. I streamed the game yesterday versus the New York Jets, and I know some people probably was like, Juan, where are you at? I'm over on Twitch. So go ahead and give me a follow. And then secondly, join the Discord server, as I finally got one up and running, and we already got a couple people in here. It's going to be a place where you can have fun and be your authentic self. Enjoy the rest of the video. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We have the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders joint practice with the Miami Dolphins, Dan Quinn saying we don't have a wide receiver too, the 49ers wanting Brandon Ayuk, and much more. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, turn on post notifications so you can notify when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We want to roll to 8,000 subscribers, so please help me get there as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So yes, today is my 21st birthday, and 20 was definitely a tough year for me, really, because of my personal decision making and how I thought my life was going to change, and me getting in the way of that. But it's okay, because 21 is a new fresh start, and hopefully this is the year I finally am able to figure out my life. Now, let's get to some Commanders talk, all right? So, Washington, as we know, is set to face the Miami Dolphins this Saturday. I will be live on Twitch. ChewyIRL, link down below in the description is where I stream the games now. We're set to face them in the joint practice, or in the preseason game. However, what's more important is the joint practice. And, guys, what I am hearing is Jayden Daniels is lighting up the Miami Dolphins defense. He threw a beautiful ball to Terry McLaurin, who beat Marcus May. And Miami reporter said this rookie looks good. He did have 2 interceptions on the day, but both of them weren't his fault. Right, the first one was a tip pass. That's a great play by Miami defense. And the second one, Terry McLaurin slipped and Kendall Fuller picked it up. How about that? An old friend, right? Kendall Fuller. Kendall Fuller's always finding a way to get an interception, right? But Jayden Daniels looks good. The offense looks good. But unfortunately, we did have to talk about an injury. Washington Commanders player was carted off. It was Bo Bauer, one of those guys that was fighting for one of those defensive positions in the back end of that roster, trying to make a roster spot potentially. And he definitely got carted off. And we don't know the extent of the injury at the moment. However, he was in some pain, and he slammed his helmet down in frustration. He was able to gingerly walk over to the car. Not that that means much, because some people are able to walk on torn ACLs and stuff like that, and you never know until to further testing what it may be. So it definitely sucks, because I definitely thought he was, was a guy that was playing hard, practicing hard in training camp, if not making the roster, definitely a practice squad candidate. We definitely need to stay healthy. I was scared when I first saw it, because they didn't say the player name. They just said a Washington Commanders player is down, not good. And then with the recent unfortunate news with the Minnesota Vikings, with losing J.J. McCarthy to a torn meniscus, and then yesterday Jordan Addison getting carted off. Like, I was just scared. I was praying that we could hopefully stay away from that injury bug, and unfortunately it did bite us. The good thing is, I guess, which it's I don't mean it in a harsh way, but a good thing is it's not like one of our key players that we can ill afford to lose, right? So speedy recovery for Bo Bauer. But once more testing come out, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Now, I do want to talk about Dan Quinn presser before we continue on with the on-field play. Dan Quinn went out of his way in his press conference to openly admit that we do not have a wide receiver too. Like, it was unprovoked, and he said it's an open position. So that video that I made, and I gotta pop my ish right quick. I'm not gonna hold you. That video I made on Jahan Dawson, where I said Jahan Dawson, something's going on with Jahan Dawson, and it's not good. that joint went semi-viral. And I'm telling you, bruh, I got a funny feeling, fool. These beat reporters be watching our videos, or like one of these old alumni players that are now working in the media is watching our videos. Because why? After I made my video, nobody else has made a video on this topic. But after I make my video and it gets some traction on my channel, now it's asked in the media the question about Jahan Dotson. Why is he playing late in the second quarter? Why is he getting extra reps? Now, I think my Brian Mitchell, he had a segment on his show where he was kind of going off on the receivers, and he was kind of doing it subliminally, like not trying to say Jahan Dawson's name, but he was talking about Jahan Dawson. And I'm just like, wow, I'm telling you, I have a funny feeling that they're watching, and it's nothing wrong with watching, you know what I'm saying? But definitely, like, hey, ask if I can come on the show, or open your DMs to come on my show, you know what I'm saying, if you want to watch our stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking for all the content creators as a whole, because I'm telling you, they see the stuff we put in here, but that's neither here nor there. Dan Quinn saying that kind of makes me feel more valid about my reasoning for making that video on Jahan Dotson, because he said that it's an open competition. So it's Jahan, it's Alameda, it's Luke McCaffrey even, right? It's De'Ami Brown. The only player on this roster that has their spot solidified at the receiver position is Terry McLaurin. And looking back on it, you don't draft, and this is why it's another bad pick by Ron Rivera, is you don't draft guys in the first round that you don't think is going to start or contribute to your team immediately, right? Like, obviously, Jahan Dotson had a good rookie year, but something along the lines last year fell off the road for him to where now he's not himself. A lot of people didn't even want Jahan Dotson. Similar to the Emmanuel Forbes pick, a lot of people did not want Emmanuel Forbes. They wanted Chris Olave or Kyle Hamilton. We were in a position to get Chris Olave or Kyle Hamilton. And what do? We trade back for Jahan Dotson. I had the same reaction to the Jahan Dotson pick that I had to the Emmanuel Forbes pick. I did not like it in the moment. And it wasn't because I thought Jahan Dotson was trash. It was because of what we could have had. Imagine this defense with Kyle Hamilton and Christian Gonzalez right now. We could have had that. Or even you go Chris Olave. Chris Olave and Terry. Come on, man. Both guys in a place where they are still putting up really good numbers, even though they have horrible quarterback play. So I definitely feel like we missed out on a lot of good players. And now this regime is unfortunately having to work to kind of rebuild this team, when it's like some of these positions should have foundational pieces. You get what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't have to be worrying about wide receiver 2 because we just spent the first round pick on a wide receiver in Jahan. We shouldn't be having to worry about a cornerback 1 because we just spent a first round pick on a cornerback 1. But now Dan Quinn is going to have to come clean that up somehow, and Adam Peters. So it's definitely frustrating. But we'll see. We'll see who's the wide receiver 2. At this point, I'm going to say De'Ami Brown. Brandon Ayuk is still being talked about, and apparently the 49ers potentially wanted Jahan Dotson. At this point, send him. Send Jahan and send a second-round pick for Brandon Ayuk. If that's not enough, oh well. I'm off the Brandon Ayuk train right now because it's August 15th. I don't think nothing's getting done. But if they want to still open that discussion, give them Jahan, give them a second-round pick, see if they want that. If not, going about our day. So getting back to the on-field practice today, again, I got sidetracked because I'm really passionate about this team, and I'm passionate about trying to be successful, that I forgot that this video is really about the on-field play. So Nikki Javala says, first play of 2 minutes for the Commanders offense. Terry McLaurin falls on his route, and Jayden Daniels is picked off. Wait for it, Kendall Fuller. And that's how practice ended. So it looks like Kendall Fuller has, like I said earlier, another interception. 2 minute final period for the Dolphins and Commanders practice. Emmanuel Forbes and Jeremy Chin each had pass breakups. Jayden Daniels' pass was tipped and caught by Marcus May for an interception. Bo Bauer, as we talked, is getting the MRI. Unfortunately, he got hurt. Another scuffle broke out with Andre Jones and Johnny Smith-Jones. Deron Payne got into a scuffle. let's see what else we have here from Nikki Giavala before we go to the other beat reporters. We have Jayden connecting with Terry McLaurin down the sideline, so really good play by those two guys. That connection continues to build up. And to close out a little bit of this joint practice with the Dolphins, Riley Patterson really starting to ramp it up. 51, 51, 56. Remember I said my biggest problem with him and even Ramiz Ahmad was I wasn't sure if they could kick it that deep. But seems like Riley Patterson is starting to heat up. Also, we have Martavis Bryant getting some work with the ones. And I guess it's not too surprising considering the fact Dan Quinn has just came out and said that we don't have a legit wide receiver 2. So Martavis Bryant potentially getting work with the ones is not surprising. He's getting a little bit extra work right now with Trace McSorley after practice. I really want Martavis Bryant to make this roster. Like at first, I was like, he's older. He really doesn't have nothing left in the tank. But after hearing him speak, after seeing how hungry he is, and one really was waiting for this opportunity, you never know what can happen. Yes, he's 32 years old. He's not 24, 25 no more, but hey, you never know. This is probably just a 1-year thing. This probably, his last ditch effort to get on the NFL roster. Who knows? And I'm really interested to see how much he plays tomorrow or Saturday and see if he can even make this roster and contribute. Because we don't have that big body receiver. We do not have that. Which is straight 6 foot 6'1", 6'2" guys. Nobody 6'3", nobody 6'4", nobody 6'5", unless it's Bryson Tremaine or Martavis Bryant. So I think one of those roster spots on the receiving room needs to go to one of those guys. Mike Samerstil, dog. I am super excited for him. I really think he's going to be really good in this league. I think he was getting some reps outside in the first preseason game too. So yeah, we drafted him as a nickel, but I think he has some work on the outside too, so he can play anywhere. I'm excited about him. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, they're dominating the Miami Dolphins. Offensive line for the Dolphins came on and said, yeah, well, Washington had a good front. Not that we didn't already know that, but they're dominating those guys. You got Jayden Daniels throwing 5 touchdowns in the red zone, 2 of those going to Terry McLaurin, and 1 beating our old friend Kendall Fuller. It's a lot of good vibes going down in Miami right now. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we got a lot of work to do, but the crazy thing is I didn't hear nothing about those guys obliterating us over the top, how, they did last year in the game. I didn't really hear much about the defense being that bad today. Maybe I didn't do enough research, but anytime you don't hear nothing and it's not being brought to your doorstep, that means it's a good thing. So, that being said, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the place for you if you want to buy your tickets. If you're going to a Commanders game, if you're going to a live event, SeatGeek is the place for you. You can use promo code JuangOttiBusiness as you see on your screen to get $20 off your first purchase. And let's just say you already bought your ticket. Well, you can get $20 off your parking because we know parking is expensive by punching in that same promo code in the promo code section of the SeatGeek app. All right, y'all. We'll talk more about this in nauseam. I didn't want to make the video too long because I do want to enjoy the rest of the day. It being my 21st birthday, follow me on Twitch, subscribe to Chewy IRL, subscribe to this channel. It's a lot going on. I'm giving this content creation my all one more time. And we going up this season. See y'all Saturday on Twitch. Come watch the game with me. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. See you later. Peace.